Hello everybody, welcome back to Making It Up. I'm Isa, and for those of you who are new, welcome. Make sure to subscribe to never miss out on any more videos. Today I am really excited, for today's video, obviously, I didn't say that, but a few months ago, or I don't even know if it was a few months ago, last year, time is going by way too fast, hello, it's the middle of the year, what is going on? Okay, I don't even know. A few months back, I did a video called Eyeshadow 101 where I explained the basics of eyeshadow, how you apply it, what you can expect from it, tips and tricks and stuff. And I have decided to create that, make it into a series of makeup application tips. I was discussing this with my mom a while back and she was like, it would be super cool for those of us who don't really know a lot. And I was like, okay, that is a good idea. So I've decided to make this into a series. So yeah, today we are talking about foundation, if you read the title of this video. And yeah, I'm just giving you guys my tips and tricks on foundation, how to match your foundation, how to apply it, how to make it look as skin-like as possible, all the works. So if you're interested in that, if you're someone who's new to makeup and doesn't really know much and wants to learn, then this video is definitely for you. But if you already know a lot about foundation, you might pick up a few new tips and tricks. So don't go anywhere and let's get started. So the first thing I like to do when it comes to foundation is find what foundation type works best for my skin type. So for foundation, there are three main formulas. There is liquid, cream, and powder, and all of them are different, and we will discuss them a little bit right now. So cream foundations typically have a higher coverage, and they're mostly used for HD things. So if you're doing film or people on TV and stuff, they wear a lot of cream foundations because they do have a lot more coverage, which means they also look a lot cakier on the skin, and you need to set them a lot more because they move and they slide around. And they aren't the most common, not a lot of people, if you're a professional then obviously you might use those, but people who just do their makeup individually, not a lot of people use a lot of, cream foundation. So yeah. Next we have powder foundation. This one's another one that isn't too common, but a few years ago it was really popular. I believe there was a Bare Minerals foundation that was really popular, a powder foundation, but this one, again, I'd say works best for people who are oily. If you have dry skin and you just apply more powder, it might make you look a lot more dry, but yeah, so if you have oilier skin, then this one might work better for you. But basically, powder foundation is just, it's very easy to apply, but it doesn't have as high of a coverage as liquid or cream foundations would have because it's just powder. So yeah, if you're someone who's on the oilier side and you don't want a lot of coverage, then definitely look into a powder foundation. I cannot speak today, guys. I'm dead. And last but not least, we have liquid foundations. They're obviously the most popular, the ones that sell the most, and they range, sorry, I have an itch. They range anywhere from super sheer to super full coverage. You can wear it if you're oily, if you're dry, if you're combination. There's a very big range of formulas, so it works for everyone. And yeah, obviously these are the most popular. People know about them the most, and it's the one that I'm going to be demoing today. So yeah. Most people know a lot about liquid foundation, so I won't go into that a lot. So let's move on. Now, we move on to the second point, which is how to match our foundation. Excuse me. Matching your foundation to your face is pretty much one of the hardest things to do in makeup because, we have to take into consideration a lot of things. And one thing that I know a lot of people don't know is your undertone. You might look at a foundation and think it matches you, but the undertone's wrong, so it ends up looking not great on your skin. So basically, we have warm tones, cool tones, and neutral, which is kind of in the middle. And an easy way to figure out where you stand in the realm of what your skin tone is if you look at your veins, in your arm or anywhere that you have veins, and if you look at them and they're a little bit more blue, that means you're more cool toned, so that means you're a little bit more pale. your skin tends to be a little bit more pink. Those are things that you can take into consideration. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, if your veins are a little bit more green and you find yourself like you feel like you look a little bit more yellow or golden or olivey, then you're definitely a warm tone. And if you look at your veins and you can't really tell if they're green or blue, that most likely means that you're neutral. So for example, there are brands like Makeup Forever and Marc Jacobs that have indicators on the undertone of the shade. So for example, Marc Jacobs has like R for red, Y for yellow, and you sort of pick, and then MAC has like W and C and N, which is warm, cool, neutral, and wow, the sun just came out to play. Knowing your undertone is very important. I think it's one of the most important things when matching foundation, when you're shade matching, because, well, it's kind of what will make or break your look. So definitely pay attention to your undertone. And if you don't know, then there are definitely like a lot of charts and a lot of people out there who explain it a lot better than I do. So you can go to them and learn more about yourself. The way that you're supposed to match your foundation, because I see this, a lot of people make this mistake whenever you go into Sephora or Ulta or whatever. A lot of people match their foundation to the back of their hand, which isn't, you know, like my hand and my face have like a different, my face is a lot paler than my hand. So if I match my foundation to my hand, it's not gonna match to my face. So, you know, it's not gonna work out. At the same time, my face and my neck aren't the same shade either. My neck is a little bit more tan than my face. So if I go in, look for foundation, match it to my face, it won't match my neck like exactly. And that's fine if you want to do that. If you just want to match it to your face, it's alright. But you might end up looking like you have a mask, like you're wearing a mask. So the way to go is match your foundation to your neck, because your face is connected to your neck, so obviously it's gonna look all like uniform, and you're gonna be looking a little bit more tan, obviously, because your neck's a little bit more tan, but that's fine, that's okay. As long as, you know, everything looks cohesive and you look like you're one color, then it'll be fine. But yeah, matching to your neck is like the easiest trick to nail your foundation. Okay, so now we move on to foundation tools, what we use to apply our foundation with. First tool is the most amazing tool. It's a free tool. It's your fingers, guys. A lot of people use, you know, their fingers to apply foundation. It gives you, like, I wouldn't say the best look because it can be a little bit harder to blend, but it definitely melts the product into your skin and it makes it look very, very good once you learn how to do it. So if you're not, you know, you don't want to splurge or just buy tools to apply your foundation, you can do it with your fingers. And it'll definitely, like, it'll totally work out. We have good old sponges. I have my beauty blender here. It's a little bit dirty because I've been using it, but this is my favorite because I find it to be the easiest. It's very, very easy to just blend my foundation perfectly. Everything just looks airbrushed whenever I use a beauty blender. And even if you're like a beginner and you don't know what you're doing, this will make your job very, very easy. If you want a super full coverage, this will absorb a lot of the product, so you might need to go in with a few coats, but other than that, I think that, like, obviously this is my favorite one, it's the one I use the most, and I'd recommend it if you're looking for something that makes your life very easy and your makeup application very easy as well. Last but not least, I have brushes. I'm not going to specify like which brushes because everybody uses a different brush, but I like to use a buffing brush or a paddle brush, but I don't currently have a paddle brush with me. Brushes will just give you the highest coverage. They won't absorb anything, so they'll make your foundation look very, very full coverage, and you'll be able to make the most out of your product. As I was saying, everybody uses different brushes, so I'd recommend a buffing brush or a paddle brush, you know, like the classic paddle brush, but honestly, experiment with what works for you because everybody uses a different brush. So I'll just say brushes give the fullest coverage, and I think they're a little bit trickier to learn how to use because they do make your foundation look streaky if you don't know how to apply them, so it just takes a little bit of practice. But if you're looking for that super high coverage, then a brush is the way to go. Okay, so now that we have talked about the tools, how to match a foundation, and which type of foundations are out there, it's time for the demo. So yeah, I'm just gonna apply foundation on my face and we're gonna learn more tricks. Hey! Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to foundation application is having a good skin prep. So cleanse your face, tone your face, moisturize, sunscreen. All of that comes before applying your foundation. If you have a good skin prep and a good skincare routine, then what you put on top will look good. But if you're not taking care of your skin, no amount of foundation will make your face look as it would if you took care of your skin. So skin prep prior to applying makeup is very important. And then the second step is primer. There are a lot of people who don't really believe in primers, so they just moisturize and use that as their primer. But I do believe in primers, and depending on what your needs are, if you have really dry skin, you might use a moisturizing primer. If you have oily skin, you might use something with oil control. If you have a lot of discoloration on your face, you can do something like color correcting. And yeah, today I am going to be using my Milk Makeup Blur Stick, the travel size version. I'm just going to be applying this where I have larger pores and blurring them out. After we prime, if you're someone who does color correcting, so if you have like very prominent discoloration on your face, under your eyes or something like that, you might do that right now before moving on to foundation, so that, you know, that's just the way it goes. But I'm not going to do it today because I don't really ever do it. But if you'd like a video on that, let me know. And now I am going to be going in with my Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. I've been using this one a lot because I'm trying to use it up so then I can buy another foundation. But honestly, this is more of a medium coverage foundation. But this application works with any type of foundation. So sheer foundations work, medium coverage foundations work, and higher coverage foundations work. So it doesn't matter what your needs are, what foundation you own currently, these tips will work for you. So I'm just gonna go in with a little. I like to start off with little product and then go in with more if I need it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna disperse the foundation all over my face before going in with my beauty blender, so that I get a little bit of a higher coverage. And as you can see, this foundation is a little bit darker than my face, but it matches my neck pretty well. So now we're gonna go in with the beauty blender and I'm gonna pounce. I'm not gonna sweep, because if I sweep, I find that it doesn't look as good and it leaves streaky things, which I don't want. So pouncing blends everything in beautifully. And then I can go in with a little bit more product in the areas that I need it. And a really important trick is to always take the foundation down your neck. It doesn't matter if it matches perfectly, because when you apply foundation to your face, it makes your face look very flawless, and we want the same for our neck. So we take it down so that our neck looks flawless as well. Okay, so once you've applied your foundation and you have your desired coverage, then it is time, if you have like really prominent dark circles and you wish to conceal those, now it would be time to add a little bit of concealer. If you don't really have any like very dark under eyes, or you don't have any discoloration there, and you find that foundation covers it, you don't need to go in with a concealer, so you can move on straight to setting. But I do need a little bit of concealing because I have really dark under eyes, so I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna come right back. Okay, so now it is time to set the face. I'm gonna go in with my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Translucent. You could go with a translucent powder, you could go with a loose powder. You could even go with a powder foundation if you want even more coverage. You can go with a powder foundation and set your face. I think setting is really important because it ensures that your makeup lasts longer and it doesn't crease. If you are a really dry person, so if you have really dry skin and you don't feel like you need to set, then definitely don't, because adding powder might make you look very like you know, emphasize your dryness, so we don't want that. If you feel like you still need a little bit of, you know, something, you need to set something, you can go into the areas, like specifically target the areas that get creasy, so like smile lines under the eyes and T-zone. But I definitely tend to get a little bit oilier, so I go in with a big fluffy brush and I do this all over my face. We just set all the face. And again, I like to, like, I don't know, pounds, so that the makeup that I just put on my face doesn't move around. And setting our face will also ensure that everything that we put like on top, so if it's bronzer, blush, highlight, it'll all blend easier onto our skin. That being said, if you're going in with a cream contour, cream blush, cream highlight, whatever, then wait to set your face after you've done that, so that you don't get any like funny textures from mixing powder and liquid or cream. After you've set your face, you are technically done, but sometimes we find that, you know, we go overboard with our powder, or something isn't like, our makeup isn't sitting perfectly on our face. And I have an extra tip for you guys. Grab like, you know, like a spray nozzle thing. You can just literally add water and spray it to your face. You could go with something like the Evian like water spray thing. I have my Thayer's Witch Hazel Aloe Vera Rose Petal whatever spray, and what you can do is you grab this, you spray it all over your face, and it'll just melt all the powders into your skin beautifully. So we'll do that right now. You can add as much as you want and then just wait until it dries, and that after applying this, you will notice that your makeup will look a little bit more flawless. It'll look a little more lived in, so it won't be sitting on top of your face. It'll have melted and it'll look a lot more like skin. It doesn't matter if you're going for a super sheer coverage or super, you know, super no makeup look, or if you're going full coverage. This will help ensure that your makeup looks as skin-like as possible. So yeah, after you do that, you can go ahead, do the rest of your base, do the rest of your makeup, and then you'll be done. That is the easiest way to apply foundation. Anyways, you guys, that is it for this video. Super easy. There can be a lot of steps and a lot of things that need to be considered, but you know, the more you practice, the easier it'll get. And remember, this can be completely customizable, so it doesn't matter if you're going for super light coverage or super full coverage. You can make it work with the tips and the tools that I gave you today. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Yeah, let me know if you have any other tips and tricks for foundation, and what other makeup thing you'd like to see for the series. So when I say makeup thing, I mean like eyeliner, lipstick, concealer, you know, all of that. I'm not making sense. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me do. I always love your suggestions, and I always love talking to you guys in the comments. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Oh, that my hands are weird like that. Like, okay. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will definitely see you in my next video. I love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.